Hi, I'm Brian. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I thought I'd do a little tutorial video on how to pan for gold. One of my hobbies, a little pastime I do just to keep myself busy. I am not, here's the disclaimer, I am not an expert, okay? I am quite the beginner, but it's something that I have fun doing, and so I thought I would share what I have learned in the last couple of years of panning for gold. Okay, the first secret for panning for gold is to find a spot where the gold's at. This video is not about finding a spot for gold. This is a video on how to pan for gold. So I'm going to start out by showing you just a couple of things that I take with me when I go panning for gold. Okay, first thing I have here, I had a friend make this for me. It's just a classifier. And so what I do, I put it inside of a 5-gallon bucket, and once I find a place I want to dig, I fill about halfway up with water, 3/4 up with water. I start shoveling all my concentrate into my bucket right here. It's got some handles here. I shake it around, wash and clean those rocks until I get a bucket that's half, 3/4 full of pay dirt. That's all we're all looking for, right? It's a pay dirt. And so, just a portable classifier, filter, whatever you want to call it, that I put in my 5-gallon bucket when I put it on the back of my 4-wheeler and head up the mountain. Great little tool. Just some mesh wire. Got a bar going through it with a couple of handles that actually just screw onto it so that it comes apart. Travels really nice, fits right inside my bucket. So, classifier. The other thing I like to take with me, my wife got me this for Christmas, and I love it because it's small, it's compact, and it fits in the back of the 4-wheeler just fine, and multi-purpose use. It's one of these survival shovels that supposedly you can never break. You screw the handle together here. It's got a compass on the end. The shovel itself can be used for like 30 different tools, it says. A wrench, you can use it for an axe, it's got a saw on it, measuring tape. Anyway, I like this because it's lightweight, it's compact, so it fits on the 4-wheeler just fine, fits right in the pack. Got me a shovel. So we need a shovel because we're going to be digging some concentrate out of my bucket right here. Survival shovel, I love it. Buy these online. I think it came from Amazon. Any kind of portable little shovel works great, especially if you're hiking in a lot or if you're riding a 4-wheeler in. Little shovels are nice. The other thing I have that I don't need today, if I am up in the mountains and I find a spot where I actually want to pan for gold. Okay, usually here in Utah, we're in Utah, all the mountain streams are snow melt, and so the water's cold. And so your hands freeze. I can only pan for like 5 or 6 minutes because my hands just get numb. So I found at Harbor Freight a pair of rubber insulated gloves. And these work wonders. These are kind of, they come up to about my elbow. So if I need to get in there and do some panning, get my hands wet, they stay nice and dry and warm. So highly recommend these if you're going to do some panning up in the mountains early spring, because the water is still ice cold, melting off the glaciers. Rubber gloves. This is just another pair that I found online. They're a little longer, almost go all the way up to my shoulder. They're not as insulated as the other pair that I got at Harbor Freight, but rubber keeps the cold off. Very helpful. So just some gloves. Just a little tip that I've discovered over the last couple of years when I pan for gold. Okay. One other little tool that I have that I like to pan with is I have a Garrett Pro pointer here. So, and I'll use it here in just a second. I'll show you how I use it. Is that when I go through my concentrate here and I shovel up a couple of shovels full in my gold pan here, not expecting to find nuggets, but you never know, right? You never know what you're going to find. So I like to run this my Pro pointer around in my pan to just over all the big concentrate to make sure that In case there's any big nuggets or some gold in there or something else, I'll be able to find it and I won't discard it. So my little Garrett hair pro pointer, like using that. All right, so let's talk about gold pan. I have a black pan. Actually, I have some green ones as well, but I like the black one. And I'll tell you why. A lot of the gold that we find here in Utah, or at least that I have found here in Utah, it's small, pepper flake. I don't know. So you're not finding big nuggets here in Utah. So this is a little smaller pan, a little smaller rigids here to capture your gold. So got a little larger size on this side. Let me see here. And then you got the smaller rigids here for the smaller concentrate for your smaller pay dirt. So as you're panning it out. So next thing we're going to do is, like I said, I got my pan here. My gold collectors, my little vials here. You can see they're not full. I'm not an expert. Got a few little pieces in there. Nice to get. I'll show you a close-up of those later. Another tool I have here is just a little suction device. I get down here to a small concentrate. We'll suck out those small pieces of gold with this and clean them up and put them inside my vials here. I got a bucket of dirt that I pulled off the mountain last summer, and to be honest with you, I've started panning it already. I'm down to about a half a bucket, and surprisingly enough, I've already been finding some gold in here. So I think we found a good spot on the mountain, and I've been pulling out some flakes already. So I'm hoping here in this little demo here, I'll be able to pull out some flakes of gold and show you how it's all done. So here we go. We're going to get one shovelful. I usually try to do 2 shovelfuls. About like that. We'll get us 2 shovelfuls in here. Okay, so the secret to panning that I've discovered is water is your friend. Without water, you're not going to capture gold. Because here's what we're doing. We're basically, I mean, I'm sure all you guys watch Gold Rush. You've seen some other gold finding shows. Okay, water is your friend, okay? In essence is what we're doing, we're washing rocks, okay? So what we're trying to make here, we're trying to make a mixture of water, and in fact, let's go ahead and we'll fill this pan up with some water. So I've got this pan full of water, and is what we're going to do, we're going to just spin it and shuffle it. So what we're doing, we're trying to make like a sluice, okay? We want to make kind of a solution of water, rocks, and dirt, and so that as you're sifting and shifting and shaking your pan, the water is going to lift all the light stuff to the surface, and all the heavier stuff is going to sink to the bottom. And all the heavy stuff is going to be your gold. And you're going to find a lot of black sand as well, but that gold is going to be dropping down to the bottom because it's a heavier in the water solution. I know this doesn't make any sort of sense to you, but let's get down to the fine paid dirt here once we do some panning, and you'll see how gold acts here. I mean, because it's kind of amazing how water and gravity and the weight of the elements just, let me clean this off a little bit. And I'm just going to keep spinning this and spinning this. You see there's a lot of dirt in there, and so my water's dirty already. So we're going to rinse that out, and I'm going to fill it up again. I'm probably going to do this a couple dozen times. And again, this isn't a method that is right or wrong. This is what works for me. Everyone else is probably going to have their own system of panning that works. This just works for me. I've been able to find some gold with it, and it works. So if you got to watch another video, somebody might be panning a different way, and they might be finding gold, and hey, whatever works for you to help you find gold. Okay, I'm just rinsing and cleaning all these rocks off, and you see the dirty water pour out of there. Okay, so I haven't even started panning yet. I've just been just like a wash plant in one of those gold shows you watch. Okay, this is what, in essence, is what we are. We're just a wash plant. We're washing all these rocks and getting all the dirt off, because the gold is attached to the dirt and the sand. And so as we create this little concentrate here of water and rocks and sand, the more I keep sifting it, all the heavy elements are going to fall to the bottom. And so I'm going to keep spinning and shifting here for sifting here for a little bit. And I'm just going back and forth. You see, I just got my hands on each side. I'm just going back and forth. I'm trying to let the water be my friend. Okay, I'm trying to lift all the light stuff to the top and get all the heavy stuff in the water to drop down to the bottom. And all that light dirt washing out. And all the rocks are still in there. Okay, so we're going to keep spinning and keep panning here. Again, I haven't dumped anything out of this pan yet. I'm still just sifting out some dirt. Again, this is not a right or wrong method. This just works for me. Helps me make sure I don't lose any gold. And I've spent all the time digging and trying to find places up in the mountains. So when I bring it back and pan, I don't want to lose it. So I'm trying to find it here. So I'm just spinning here in circles. The substance inside the pan is shifting back and forth. So it's sifting and shifting, and as that's doing that, all the heavy stuff is working down to the bottom. The water is pulling all of that down, all the heavy stuff, all the gold, all the black sand, all the heavy stuff will be down at the bottom. All the lighter stuff, I know these are bigger rocks and you think they're heavier, but element-wise they're not. And so I know there's not any gold in these. Now, one thing I told you I was going to do that I forgot to do, but I haven't really started dumping anything out yet, was I was going to use my Garrett Pro Pointer here to see if I had any nuggets in here. I'm just going through my pan here real quick. If we had any sizable nuggets, it would beep on it. It's beeping on my ring. So we know it's working, and it's not finding any big nuggets in our pan. So I'm not afraid to let some of these bigger rocks go out now as we start panning and sifting a little bit, because there's not anything beeping on the Pro Pointer here. So put that back off, and we'll keep sifting our pay dirt here and try to get rid of some of the larger concentrate here. Trying to get rid of some of the bigger rocks. A couple of ways of doing it. Again, I'm still just trying to clean it up enough to get all the dirt and all the gold off the rocks and down to the bottom of my pan. Haven't really started losing anything yet. I'm still just washing and cleaning. Okay, washing and cleaning. So you see, this is so much cleaner than when I first put it in for my bucket here with my shovel. Again, we ran the metal detector, the pinpointer over this concentrate and these larger rocks here. We know there's not any nuggets in them. So I'm going to just grab a few of these by hand and just dump them out. Just makes it go a little faster and easier, because I know there's no nuggets in these. I've got them all cleaned off pretty good. So just dump them in my bucket here. All right, so now I'm going to start panning off some of these larger concentrates here. So I'm going to start with a pan of water. I'm going to tilt my pan probably to about 30-degree angle, and I'm going to sift it. I'm going to keep going back and forth with it, and it's what that does. That still allows the heavy gold and concentrate stuff to go to the bottom. Even though these rocks are bigger, they're not, element-wise, they're not heavier, if that makes sense to you. And so these are going to stay on top, and I'm going to just, some of these larger ones, again, I'm just going to rub off to the top here, because this is what we want to get down to. We want to get down to the sand and down to the concentrate, because that's where all the gold's going to be. Down to the fine stuff, okay? We're not looking to find nuggets here. If we do, that'd be quite a surprise. Okay, so pan full of water, tilt it to about 30-degree angle, and as I am bouncing it and vibrating it, I'm letting some of the larger rocks fall off the top here, okay? Because we know that the water, hopefully by now, has already started collecting the gold in the sand, and it's down in the bottom next to my pan. And these grooves in your pan, these gold catchers, are going to hopefully be catching a heavier substance. And so we're not, as I'm panning and sifting here, as this concentrate here falls off, I'm feeling pretty confident that there's not going to be any gold falling off with it, because that's what these ridges are for. They're made to catch the heavier stuff, because the water and these other rocks, are mostly granite and stuff, are going to go right over the top, and the heavier stuff's going to sink to the bottom, right? Okay, so we'll keep panning here. Get rid of some of these larger things. The better you get, the faster you go. I'm never in a hurry. I pan super slow, especially when I'm sitting here in my garage. I know it doesn't look like I'm in the garage. That's the whole trick, and make you think that I'm out in the mountains somewhere, but you know what? I'm not. I'm just here panning in my garage because it's fun. Okay, I'm still losing a lot of the larger concentrate. I know you guys think, oh, I'm losing too much. You're not, okay? Because you've been washing for a few minutes now. All the heavy stuff has been falling to the bottom, and all these rocks on the top here are not nuggets, okay? It's not gold, and so we're going to discard those, okay? We're going to get them out of the way. If I was using my green pan, you'd probably be able to start to see on the back side right here a little bit of the black sand. But on the black pan here, it's harder to see. But we're going to keep just working it down until we get to some really fine stuff here. So this might take a few minutes, but just, again, rinse and repeat. That's all we're doing. Cleaning rocks, vibrating out, just kind of panning out some of the larger rocks, just letting them fall into my waste bucket here. And I know as long as I keep water in this, that I'm creating a solution where things float and things sink. And that's what the whole purpose is to create a solution here where all the heavy things are going to drop to the bottom. That's where the gold's going to be. So I'm going to keep sifting here, letting these larger pebbles fall off the end. Again, it's a hobby. Some people maybe make some decent money out of it. I just kind of do it for fun. Me and my kids, we like to go up in the mountains. We ride the four-wheelers all the time. Jump out, we find a stream that could have some gold in it. We either take some buckets of dirt back with us back home, or we'll jump out with a gold pan and we'll spend 30, 45 minutes doing a couple of pans and see if we can find something. But it's very soothing as well. I mean, it's relaxing. I'm not in a hurry. It's always fun when you find something, but usually it's just a thrill of being up in the mountains, the fresh air, mountain streams, the lakes up here, the smell of the pine trees. And all that is great. And that's the fun and the adventure. And you can do it as a family. I mean, I take my kids. My wife's been several times. They're more into riding the four-wheeler. Myself, I like to find the gold spots, but it's all fun. So some of these bigger rocks here, again, they're a little slow in panning off, so I'm gonna help them out here. I know I don't have any nuggets. I'm not losing anything here, so I'm gonna get rid of some of these bigger pieces here. Give me some dirt or some water in here. Keep this solution with some water in it. That way all the heavy stuff keeps falling to the bottom. Even though some of these pebbles are bigger, they don't have gold in them, so weight-wise, they're not heavier. The water will pull down all the heavy stuff. So we're starting to get down to a little bit of sand, a little bit of it's a heavier concentrate. Again, I'm just rolling off some of these bigger rocks that I know that they're not nuggets, just so I can speed up the process a little bit and help things out here. It's always fun because you never know what you're going to find in a pan. I mean, I've done hundreds of pans where I have found zero gold, complete strikeout. Yeah, it sucks, but you know what? It's fun. I mean, if it's a hobby, it's something you enjoy doing, it's kind of cool. So, panning this down. I really hope there's some gold in here. It's always fun to find it, especially if I'm taking the time to film this to show you guys. Hopefully I've found me a good spot with some pay dirt. So if you like how this video is going, hit that subscribe button and subscribe to my channel. I plan on trying to get some more of these up. Maybe some advanced panning. I have a sluice box we're going to set up and try to and show you if you're out on location on a river and you want to do some faster gold prospecting than doing a few pans at a time. The sluice box works really nice. It's kind of fun. Still kind of the same concept. I use my classifier and get me a bucket full of concentrate, and then I just right there my wash plant. I clean it right there in the stream or in the river. can move quite a bit of material. It's kind of fun. My kids like operating that. It's funner to them than doing the panning. So takes a little longer to set up. Takes a little more time and patience to set up the sluice box, but this is just as fun. I feel like we're getting down to some sand, which there's still a lot of concentrate. I mean, you see that there's still a lot of dirt in here, a lot of fine stuff. And so as we get closer to the small stuff, I make sure I keep a lot of water in there, because again, I don't like to lose any gold, and this may or may not be the proper way to pan for gold, but it works for me. And so I'm going to keep a lot of water in there so that all my gold will stay down at the bottom and be captured and not roll out the top with the larger pieces. And right now in my gold pan, this pan here, like I said, it has the deeper ridges and it has the smaller ridges. Once I get my concentrate down to a smaller mixture of just pretty much sand, I'll switch over and use the smaller ridges here to help catch my gold. It's just, to me, it's a little easier. And again, the gold pans come in all different colors, black, green. I've seen them in blue. I don't think there's one pan that's better than the others. Just personal preference. These are medium size. I have a couple of large ones as well that you guys have seen on TV and stuff, but I like to use these little ones because I can control it better. It's easier to hold. I mean, you're doing this for a few hours, your hands get tired, so this is a good size for me. I like this one. Again, I just hope we got some gold in here. So we're gonna keep at this till I get it down to some black sand. Get a few more big pieces of pebbles here that I know aren't nuggets. So I'm not worried about losing gold, because nuggets are pretty rare. In fact, I've seen nuggets, but I've never found an actual nugget of any significant size. It's all just been the flake gold hobby stuff. It's fun. I like doing it. Okay, so I'm going to be a little more aggressive on my panning here. I'm going to try to get some more of this concentrate off the top. That way we can get down to the sand. Okay, so that sand is where all your gold's going to be, down underneath all that sand. Again, I have a black pan, and I apologize, so you're not going to be able to see the black sand, but we're getting close to it. Getting close to the black sand. Once we get closer, maybe I'll try to get a close-up shot on that camera up there so you guys can actually see the black sand that's in here. Fair amount of black sand in my previous pans that I've been doing. Can't see it on this one yet. I just see it a little bit, but it's all underneath all that sand and concentrate, that black sand and gold. If there is any gold, it'll be under all of that. So we're going to keep panning this out. Again, water's my friend. I'm not afraid of too much water. I'm not in a river. It's not going to wash anything away. I'm panning out of a big tub here in my garage. And so I'm not going to really lose anything. So I'm making sure I have lots of water, so all that gold and black sand pull down to the bottom and separate from the other sand here as we're sifting it and going back and forth. Keeping my pan, I'm a little steeper angle now. It's about a 30 degree angle. I'm probably about a 45, 50 degree angle now, letting some of this the concentrate come out of the pan a little more. Give me a little more water. Make sure I keep plenty of water in there. Again, I'm super cautious. I don't like to lose any gold, so I'm not in a hurry. I'm going to work it back and forth, and I'll do this probably for another 5 or 10 minutes. I mean, we'll edit this video so it's a little quicker, but I don't want to lose any gold. So I'm very slow, very cautious here when it comes to panning, and we're getting down to some of the finer concentrate here in our pay dirt bucket. I'm going to rotate my pan a little bit so I'm actually on the finer ribs now, because I want those finer ribs to catch my gold, and so I can get rid of some more of this concentrate. So if I can get down to my gold and to the black sand, to the heavier elements, then I'll be feeling pretty good, and I'll be able to show you how gold acts in the water. Okay? But we got to get rid of some more of this concentrate so I can show you how the characteristics of gold when you're panning it. Because everyone's afraid, oh, I'm going to lose all my gold. How you know it's not coming out? Okay, I'm going to show you as soon as we get down to the fine stuff here. Again, here's some bigger pebbles on the side. I know they're not nuggets. I'm going to roll those out of the way with my finger here. Those are okay. All right, so keep working this down. I'm going to keep working it down, getting rid of some more of that concentrate. That's okay. Getting down to some of the fine stuff. So I'm trying to be, again, I'm not in a hurry, panning really slow here. Making sure I got lots of water so it pulls down my gold, helps me separate it. I mean, that's what this water does. It helps me create this solution of sludge and dirt and sand, but all that heavy stuff goes to the bottom. And the gold, obviously, is heavy stuff. Okay, I'm feeling pretty good about this. I'm going to, a couple of big pieces here that I know aren't gold that I'm going to just kind of flick out of the way here. We're going to do a little reveal again. I got some water in here. Going to use the water to just kind of spread out in my pan the substance that we have. And let's see, a lot of black sand up in here. Okay, I'm seeing one piece of gold. I'm seeing a second piece of gold. Let's see if we got any more color in here. 1, 2, 3 pieces of color. All right, so I've got a piece of gold right here. I've got a piece of gold right here, and I got another piece that's right down here. So what I was doing, gold doesn't really float in or on the water. I mean, it takes quite a current to move it around. And so even though I don't have all the concentrate panned out, I can use the water and gravity here to separate my gold and concentrate from each other. I'm shoveling everything here together so it gets back in one big pile in my pan. And now I want to, if you can see the concentrate here, I've just got some water in here, and as I just slowly work it back and forth in my hand, you can sift it or just get the water circulating a little bit, and when it does, it'll start washing off the lighter stuff, and the heavier stuff is going to stay at this end of your pan. Okay, so I know it's black, it's hard to see, but all of this stuff right here, it's all black sand. It's much heavier than this brown sand and all these little pebbles over here, because usually the black sand is an iron ore of some sort, and so it's a heavier element and it stays behind. All this stuff, as I'm sifting in the water that's coming out, all this stuff right here is just sand. That's all the light stuff. The gold is hiding underneath this black sand. Okay, so just using my gravity and my pan here, I'm going to just kind of sift the water around and let it work this black sand down so that it reveals the gold. Again, I know there's 3 decent sized pieces in here. I've already seen them, but I'm just trying to show you how to get to them and know that gold will stay at the bottom underneath that black sand. Gold doesn't float around in your water as you're doing this, because it's again, it's heavier and it's hard to explain, but once you find a fleck of gold, you'll know what I mean, because I panned for some stuff in Colorado, and a lot of mica in the granite and stuff there. And as you're panning, you see shiny stuff in your pan. You're like, oh, there's so much gold in here. But as you slosh your water around a little bit, you'll see it like spin around and go around in circles with your water. And that's a real good indication that what you're looking at is not gold. Because as I'm panning the sand here, my gold is still at the bottom here underneath that black sand. I see one piece has finally revealed itself right here. And let's see if I can get, oh, there's a second piece right next to it. And there's a third piece under there as well. So this pan yielded me 3 flakes of gold right there. 1, 2, 3 flakes. I know they're hard to see. Maybe we can get a little more light in here and I'll try to show them. 3 pieces of gold right there. That's a pretty good pan. So wouldn't throw this bucket away. Let me show you how I get them out of here. I'm going to put a little more water in here. I've got this little eyedropper thing right here. And here's what I like to do. I got these little vials. So I try to get some water in my pan here. Now, you're going to pick up some black sand, and that's okay. So I'm going to suck up the gold. Make sure I don't lose it. There, we got it sucked up. Okay, I'm going to set my pan down here for a minute because I know I've got my flakes of gold inside my my dropper here. So I'm going to try to get them all in this vial here, and I'll worry about cleaning out my gold later, because right now it picked up some sand as well, but right now I just want to get it all safe inside my little vial. I don't know if there's a right or wrong way to pan, but this is fun for me, and it works for me. Again, I don't get in a hurry. I pan slow. I make sure I went through the trouble to dig the dirt, and if there's gold in it, I don't want to lose it. I'm going to find it. So I'm very thorough, a little OCD sometimes on going through the pan over and over and over again and just making sure I'm washing and washing. But yeah, any questions, send me a message. I'll get right back to you. Until then, enjoy your panning for gold, and I hope this was useful and helpful and that you enjoyed watching it, and we'll see you again. Thanks.